Okay, now I feel kind of bad. There's been a couple guys that have asked me how things are going on that 580, that Case 580 backhoe, and I haven't responded, unfortunately, because I've just been, every time I think about it, I don't got things ready, but here's what's going on. I got the paint already for the motor, but I've got the motor ripped apart. Everything in the motor except for two connecting rods are bad. I mean, the bearings, all the main bearings, they were pretty much, they were almost new. Here's one of the connecting rod bearings. Let me see, you can see that. See the scoring in there? There we go, we can see the scoring now. You can see the copper in there. See that copper right there? But it's almost like it ran low on oil, or oil pressure is a thing on these. From the reading up I did, oil on number 3 is a thing, but the pistons were all good. The rings all look good, but I'm not going to be reusing any of them. The fuel injectors, I'm assuming most of them were good, but I'm going to buy a whole new set, because when I was popping out the one that had water in the cylinder, I think I had to destroy the tip on it pretty bad. I think it's this one. Or this one right here. You see how it's got like a sharp point? It's supposed to have this little rounded thing with the little holes for the nozzle on there. So that brings me to the motor. The motor, or the block. The block is in really good shape. New sleeves come with this kit that I'm getting. Here's the one. There was one connecting rod bearing that spun, and here that one is. Let me tell you, I could barely get that out of the connecting rod, and that would be for, yeah, I've started cleaning stuff up. I was looking for a different motor, but just to get another motor, people are looking $3,000 for something that's used, that I can't look inside, when it's going to cost me about $650 for the whole kit, and that's new liners, pistons, all new bearings, camshaft bearings will be included in there. What else? And gaskets. So, and then I have to send the crank out to get the connecting rod journals reground, and I can end up, mic that out, and I can get away with going 10,000s under. And I'm going to get all these ground resized, because that one is kind of scored up on the inside. And I've got 3 sets of them, because with this came 3 gas motors, and I took apart 2 of them just to see if any of the parts were compatible. The only parts that I found that were compatible were these, and some of the bolts, obviously. And also the valves, I was hoping like I could take some of the valves out of the gas motors. The valves on the diesel, let me grab a valve here. Actually, I can just show you right here. The valves on the gas motors, I don't know if it's the valves on the diesel or the gas. I think it's the gas. But the valves are much... Is it on the diesel? I don't have one on me. I think it's on the diesel. The valves are much longer. The rod part is much longer than the other one. So after I get the crank reground, my list of parts is going to be that kit, and I think I might end up having to get some new springs for the valves. But the head is in okay shape. I might try to redeck it. I don't know how much. I gotta check it, see if I can end up taking some off yet. I don't know if it's been redecked. And I think I'm gonna end up putting a new seat in here on the intake. I'm not sure yet. But that rust, that water that was sitting in this one, you can see all the... I mean, it's not deep, but if I'm right, I don't know if I'm right, but what I heard in diesel motors, you don't really want any sharp corners or anything, because that can create a hot spot, and that's where the fuel will ignite. I don't know. You know, it's like a corner the air's got to rush over, and it just, I don't know. I'm not sure. So I would like to try to take this down a little bit, but it's number 4, either that or number 1 and number 4, one of the two, that have got just a tiny bit. This one's got just a tiny bit of rust, and I cleaned them up. I poured them out a little bit. So this is ready to go. I'm going to do the machining on this myself. Here, let's look at the camshaft. This just needs to be cleaned up. Maybe I'll take some 1200 grit sandpaper, clean up the journals a little bit. Other than that, this looks to be perfectly fine. I should probably see if I can't find what the dimension's supposed to be and check it just to make sure that's not worn too bad. But noticeably, nothing is galled, you know, like when you'd see like a bearing going out. This looks a little funny though here, when I look at that. What is that? Oh, that's just from where it was sitting in the block. Oil pump I haven't checked yet. That's the oil pump there. I'll be disassembling that and see if I need to surface grind that. If I need to surface grind it to bring it back into tolerance, I'll do that. And the block I'm going to end up, I'll pressure wash it with the steam pressure washer, knock the jugs out. I got to make a tool. You have to take the jugs out, and that tool, you put the tool in from the bottom. It'll be a little piece of steel that's just about as wide as the jugs, and then it's got a bolt thing that you put on top. It goes like this, so it's kind of like a U shape, and then you just start tightening that bolt and it sucks them out. And to the couple guys that were asking, I'm sorry I didn't get back sooner, but I'll be bringing this in here. Not this week, but next week I'll be bringing these parts into the machine shop. And when I start machining the head and stuff, I'll bring you guys down to my place of where I do all this stuff and show you exactly what I do to it. Alright. Bye guys.